Welcome back to the John Linetia Show.
Hey, Linetia, what do you think of our Chicago mayor?
I don't have a comment.
Rahm Emanuel.
I don't have a comment. I don't know. He seems to be a good guy to me.
I don't know what that means, though. It's like, he gives this kind of image, like he's a good guy. I think it's just kind of funny because he was never, thought of, as mayor material until, he was on, Obama's team.
But he had always said he wanted to be mayor. But
he wasn't anything. It wasn't like it was alderman. He wasn't.
Well, he was known for being a mean person.
Well, of course, and he still is known for having a short temper. But the other thing, with Mayor Daley is he was known for basically because he appointed most of the aldermen in the city council. He was known for basically getting a rubber stamp, getting his own way. In the city council. It's why, for instance, the parking meter issue. He rammed that through and basically, in a couple of days, basically told the council, you don't need to read it, just vote for it. And then, of course, they voted for it, and it's the worst thing that basically has ever been done to the city.
Right.
95 years of horrid parking rates.
Right.
And can't get out of the contract, and it's still costing the city lots and lots of money.
Right.
So it was interesting, though, an article in the Sun-Times recently that I think Fran Spielman, the Sun-Times City Hall reporter, wrote about how study basically been done that shows that Rahm Emanuel actually has a lot more control over his city council than Daley did. Hey, it's kind of surprising. Ultimately what you do is you kind of just look and see when it comes to voting on things the mayor wants and see if there's much dissent. Because ideally you look at it and you go, well, everything the mayor wants is probably not all good.
Right.
And sure enough, Emanuel has got more rubber stamping going on for him than Daley did.
Maybe it's just a change in times. You know what I mean? Rahm kind of has a different demeanor from Daley. You know what I mean? He's the first Jewish mayor.
Okay.
That might have something to do with it too, with him being different, and maybe people can better relate to someone like that. Some of the people who were former aldermen or women, they're not there. We have a lot of
there's some new people, but even even those that were that didn't support Daley as much are supporting him.
Yeah, I think there's some type of underlying theory with that. I think I'm going to support the mayor, and then when I want something done on my agenda.
Here's the thing, though. You've got the city council. It's like Congress and the president. Even if let's say Congress was in both houses were controlled by the Democrats, you don't want to have a Congress that rubber stamps everything. With George W. Bush, when we had both houses as Republicans, things get rammed through that ultimately were bad.
Right, but it's because they all stuck together.
Well, exactly. You want to have some kind of a debate. You want to have some kind of opposition.
Yeah.
And I think it's a bad thing, and it's going to end up showing. The parking meter deal was horrible, under Daley. We'll see all the crap that's going to happen now.
That wasn't wrong.
I know.
Rahm didn't do it.
But what I'm saying is when you have a city council that basically just rubber stamps all your stuff. The other thing is you've got the largest city council for a large city like this. 50 people, okay? 50 wards in the city. LA has, I think they only have 35 or something like that. They've got more land mass, okay?
Right.
And New York doesn't have as many in their council. What's the point in having 50 people in the city council if most of the time, 45 of them are always going to vote in the mayor?
I really think there's an underlying theme there. The underlying theme is, if I go along with the mayor and, maybe I need something done that's on my agenda for my ward, maybe he'll help me get it through. Maybe he'll help me get support for that.
Yeah, maybe, but it's not a good theme.
I think that's what they're thinking.
You know.
Or it could be the reverse. I'm afraid to go up against Rahm. Maybe I won't win.
Yeah, could be that, but ultimately then you just try to get more aldermen with backbones. And I think that's really the problem, is you've got too many aldermen basically who are wussies. They have no backbones. They're jellyfish. They have no ideas of their own. And then when they do, they're always ridiculously silly and minor, with some kind of a goofy neighborhood thing that nobody asked for, but they think, oh, it'll be something that the voters in my ward will like. I mean, granted, you side with Rahm, you side with the current leader of the machine, and if you don't side with him, there could be the possibility that next election there's actually somebody running against the alderman, the incumbent, who actually might win, who's an actual candidate instead of these straw people that they tend to put up.
Unless these people just want to say, okay, I'm alderman. You know what I mean? Maybe they just want to have a title, and maybe some of these people have money and they're able to buy votes, so they can get in. But I mean, I really think it's an agenda thing, and I really think that it's maybe I'm afraid to go up against the mayor thing. Maybe I can't. Maybe it's a situation where I don't feel like I'm going to win these battles with Rahm. It might be that.
Could be.
I mean, could there be any other reason?
It's still sad, though. It's still sad that there is no resistance on anything, or very little.
Unless they truly agree on whatever.
That
would be amazing.
There was, one alderman didn't, wanted to talk more and debate more about the plan to change the parking tax, downtown area, which was kind of a flat number that you always had to raise to what makes sense is a more sensible percentage. 20% of the fee, parking fee, 15% of the fee, something like that. But of course, in the process of changing it, what they've effectively done is now raise the parking rates tremendously, in the downtown area. And, it's something to plug, the mayor's using it as a way to plug, the budget gaps that they've got. But, one alderman, the downtown alderman, was like, I'm not sure I like this because, now you're basically saying that people visiting downtown and the hotels and stuff like that are paying more. Well, what happened? I mean, that was basically said it one day and then the next day, by, noon, they passed it. So, it's, quite honestly, I look at that and go, wait a minute, that's a lot. If I was visiting the city, anybody that I know that visits the city, I tell them, no, you want to stay in the suburbs. You want to stay around O'Hare. Stay in Oak Grove Village. Stay in Rosemont because the taxes are less. You're going to pay less.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to park for free in actual parking lots.
Yeah. I am a testimony to that because I drove down here to work one day and I parked across the street.
Yeah.
Here, 95, 96, 97.
Yeah.
My parking was $38.
That's crazy.
That was a lot of money to park for one day.
I don't drive, downtown when I come to work. I take the CTA, but, I wouldn't drive. There's no way. Not pay for parking. It's insane.
It's a lot.
If I'm going to do any shopping or anything, I never think of I'll go shopping downtown. Never.
No, I don't ever think about that either.
No.
I always shop in the burbs. The taxes are cheaper. There's free parking.
Yeah.
And I mean, I always felt like downtown might have been, for people of a higher income bracket. Anyway.
Well, it is definitely if you can afford to park.
I mean, you got $1 million, condos, down here. So I would think,
Yeah. But so I don't think it's really good for business and tourism and all of that.
Yeah.
Raising the rates and all that. But still, you don't have, you don't have anyone in the city council. Aldermen with spines. They're diamond, not a dime a dozen. They're hard to find.
I remember when Daley was in, though. It seemed like it used to be just a little bit more exciting. You know what I mean?
Because a little bit.
You could see where people were just up there, really being against Daley, and now it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever the mayor wants, I'm
behind. I think part of it also is that I think Rahm basically kind of pressures and bullies everyone to follow what he wants to do, whereas Richie Daley at least knew that it was good to at least put up the front that there's some kind of opposition.
I think that's always good to have, both. But now I think maybe things are just going through because, like I said, either they're afraid to go up against them because they don't think they're going to win, or they feel like if they do vote with him, if they need something done in their area, then maybe it'll help get it pushed through.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to the John and Linetia Show.